Hello student of class 11, once again with a new video, and in this video we are going to cover the topic laws of motion. This is a chapter laws of motion, and we will cover the topic about force, momentum, Newton's law of motion. One video also I had given in previous of this video. In that also we had discussed so many points about laws of motion. So let us start the video laws of motion. The first is force. What is force? The force is an external effort which may move a body at rest or stop. Means force is a cause which can make the body to stop or which can make the body to start, or a moving body, or to change the speed of a moving body, or to change the direction of a moving body, or to change the shape and size of the body. Means these changes we are seeing in our daily life which is due to the external effort, and that is called force. The effect of force are: force can move a body at rest, force can stop a moving body, force can change the speed of a moving body, force can change the direction of a moving body, and force can change the shape and size of the body. I am again taking this topic in this video because many times if you learn this, so you can understand better that what is force and what is the cause, or what the force we are seeing in our daily life. So many things, without the force we are not able to do any work. So to change the direction, to stop the body, to start the body, all the thing is required some effort, some external effort, and that effort is known as force. So what is force? Force is a push or pull of an object on an object. Force causes an object to accelerate, to speed up, to slow down, to change the direction. These are the causes of force. If you see this picture, force is a push or pull that causes a change in motion of an object. Moon is moving around the earth. If you drop a body, the body will always go towards the earth, means gravity, the force of gravity attracting the object. If you comb your hair and if you bring that comb to the bits of paper, you see that paper attracting towards the comb, plastic comb. This is the force of electrostatic, or we can say static electricity. If you see the force of electron, which is causes moving charges known as electric current, and that electric current gives energy to the filament. So many changes are there. So we are seeing the bulb is glow. If you see the force at a distance between the two magnets, same pole repel, opposite pole attract. If you see the man is running on the ground, applying force on the ground, the same force is applied by the earth also. There are so many examples in our daily life where we see the effect of force. There are two types of forces: balanced and unbalanced force. Balanced force is when the two forces act on the body in opposite direction, and if both the forces are equal, then the resultant force acting on the body is zero, and such forces are called balanced force. Means if the two forces are applied in opposite direction on a body and both forces are equal, if you see here F1 and F2, the forces are equal, F1 is equal to F2, then the body will not move anywhere, or we can say if the body is moving, it will move in with the same speed. So balanced force cannot change the state of rest or motion of the body. Unbalanced force is the two forces acting on the body in opposite direction, and if one force is greater than the other, then the resultant force is not equal to zero, or we can say the net force is not zero. So the forces are called unbalanced force, and unbalanced force changes the state of rest or motion of the body. Here two forces are shown by the length of the arrow. If you see here, so F1 is more than F2. We had discussed this thing in the previous video. We are just revising here. Next is force of friction. The force of friction is the force which opposes the motion of an object over the surface. If you apply a force on a box, heavy box, then the box will not move. But if you apply more force, then after applying some more force, you see that the box, which is earlier not moving, but after that if you apply more force, it will start moving. So when you apply force and the box is not moving, it means if you are applying a force on the box 10 Newton and the box is not moving, it means something is there which is applying same force in opposite direction, which is equal, or which is, we can say, the balance zero force. so the box is not moving. But if you are applying more force on the box, after certain time, after certain amount of force, the box will start moving, means that force which is opposing your force, your force apply on the box, and box is not moving, that force is in opposite direction, and that is called friction. So we can say the force of friction is the force which opposes the motion of an object over a surface. For example, a ball rolling on the ground gradually slows down due to friction. If you stop pedaling your cycle, it gradually slows down and come to a stop due to force of friction between tire and road. An object with a uniform motion will continue to move with a uniform motion if the force acting on it are balanced. If unbalanced force act on the moving body, then its speed or direction of motion changes. Means if the force is unbalanced and you are applying unbalanced force on the moving body, then the speed or direction of motion will change. Mean if you are applying force and it is unbalanced on a moving body, maybe the speed of the body increases, or maybe they change the direction of the motion. If unbalanced force is removed, then it will continue to move with the speed it had acquired till then. Means if the unbalanced force is removed, the body will continue to move with the speed which is acquired by the body. This is a Galileo experiment of motion of an object on an inclined plane. If you see, the one ball is coming downward on an inclined plane, and the same ball is moving up to the inclined plane. So what is this experiment? Here if you see this diagram, there are two incline, and the right hand side incline is changes the angle of inclination, and but the height in both the right hand side and left hand side is same. So when a marble rolls down on inclined plane, its velocity increases, and when it goes up on the second inclined plane, its velocity decreases. If you drop a ball, if you make a ball to move on the first inclined plane, left hand side I am taking first, and on the right hand side incline I am taking second. So when you leave the ball on the first inclined plane, its velocity increases, it will come more fast, and when it goes up on the second incline, its velocity decreases. If the inclination of both the plane are equal, then marble will reach the same height which is rolled down, and if the inclination of the second plane is decreased, it will travel more distance to reach the original height. If you see there, the inclination is decreasing, means we are changing the angle. So as you change the angle, as you decrease the angle, you see the ball is reaching the same height but traveling more distance, and the marble will travel forever trying to reach the same height. An unbalanced force is required to change the motion of the marble, but no force is needed to sustain the uniform motion of the marble. This is the experiment by Galileo. This is the experiment given in the NCERT also. You see from NCERT, more description is there. Newton's law of motion. Isaac Newton was an English scientist. In 1667, he developed 3 laws of motion that describe movement of object in the term of force, and these laws of motion still hold true today. Means after so many centuries, also we are finding that these laws are very much important for the understanding the motion of the body. So first law, an object at rest will stay at rest, an object in motion will stay in motion at constant velocity unless acted upon by the unbalanced force. This is known as law of inertia. Second law, force equal mass time acceleration. We can find the value of force from here. The third law is for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. These are the examples which you have learned in the class 9th also. Newton's first law of motion states that an object remains in the state of rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by applying force. This is called inertia. Inertia is a natural tendency of an object to remain in the state of rest or in uniform motion is called inertia. Inertia of 3 types: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. This is why the first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. If you see this experiment, you can do at your home also. You take a glass, you put a card on that glass, and you put a 5 rupee coin on that, and if you throw that card with your finger, you find that the coin which is at rest will fall into the glass and that card will flow away. Means the force is applied on the card, so card is only moved and the coin is still remain at place and fall into the glass. This is the example of inertia. So law of inertia, law of acceleration, law of interaction, these are the laws of motion. An object at rest will stay at rest, an object in motion will stay in motion at constant velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. First law is inertia. Inertia is a tendency of an object to resist a change in its velocity, whether in motion or motionless. If you see this picture, the pumpkin will not move unless acted upon by unbalanced force. Until we are not applying an unbalanced force, until we are not picking it up, it will remain at the same place always. First law: once airborne, unless acted by an unbalanced force, it would never stop. Unless acted upon by an unbalanced force, this golf ball would sit on the tree forever. Example of inertia: if the striker hit a pile of coin on a carom board, the lowest coin move out, and due to inertia at rest, the other coin fall down. This you had done while playing the carom. If you hit the striker on the pile of coin on the carom board and you hit the lowest coin, it will move out and the pile will remain at the same place. If the coin placed on the playing card over a tumbler is flicked with the finger, due to inertia of rest, the coin falls down into the tumbler, as we have seen in the previous slide. When we travel in a car and the driver applies brake suddenly, we tend to fall forward due to the inertia of motion. That's why we have to use seat belt to tie ourselves on the from the seat to get less injured. That is the reason that why the luggage on the roof of the vehicle is tied with a rope, because when the brakes are applied suddenly, maybe the luggage fall down or fall backward. When we are standing in a bus and the bus begin to move suddenly, we tend to fall backward because our feet in contact with the floor moves forward, but the upper part of the body continues to remain at rest due to inertia of rest. These are all the examples. You are familiar with all the examples. We have learned all the examples in the class 9th also. So there is no need to explain it. If you are not feeling, if you feel that there is some problem, so you can ask. So here it is example. The driver is not wearing seat belt, and don't let this be you. Wear seat belt. Because of inertia, object resist change in their motion. When the car is going with a speed of 80 km/h, is stopped by the brick wall, your body keep moving with 80 km/h, and you can throw out from the car and you will get injured. So it is advised to always tie the seat belt while the car is moving with a great speed. Inertia and mass are related to each other. More the mass, more the inertia, means heavier the mass, heavier the body, more force is required to change its state. So body at rest continue to be state at rest, and body in motion continue to be in motion. This property of body is called its inertia. Inertia of the body is measured by the magnitude of force required to change the state of body, and the force required to change the state of heavier body is more than the force required to change the state of the lighter body. This is because mass of the heavier body is more than the mass of the lighter body. So we can say mass of the body is measure of its inertia. More the mass, more the inertia; less the mass, less the inertia. If you see here, a small box and this is a big box, more force is required to move the big box. What is momentum? Momentum, the symbol of momentum is P, and it is the product of mass and velocity. The momentum of a body is the product of its mass and velocity. The momentum is P is equal to mv, where P is momentum of the body, m is the mass of the body, and v is the velocity of the body. So if the body is at rest, means v is 0, there is no momentum, and a unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, or we can say kg meter per second, or kg m s to the power minus 1. When the truck is stopped, a heavy truck is stopped, you are standing in front of that truck, you are not afraid of anything. But when that truck start moving, means it has no velocity. Earlier the velocity is zero, so the momentum is zero. But when the truck start moving with a certain velocity, then you have to leave the track, you have to be leave from the road, because that will hit to you and you will get injured. So when the body start move, it has momentum, means we can say that is the body which is at rest has zero momentum, and the body which is moving, it has momentum. So how can you find the momentum? You can multiply the mass with velocity, you can find the magnitude of momentum. A truck moving at a very slow speed can kill a person standing in its path because of heavy mass of the truck. So you can increase the momentum by increasing the mass or by increasing the velocity. A bullet of a small mass when fired from a gun can kill a person because of its large velocity of the bullet. Means there are two examples are there. One is a massive truck with a slow speed can kill a person standing in its path because the mass of truck is more, so momentum is more. In this different case, if you see, the bullet is very small, but when it's fired from the gun, it has more velocity and it also kill a person because there is large velocity. So momentum depend on two factors, mass and velocity. More the mass, more the momentum. More the velocity, more the momentum. So the impact of body depend on its mass and velocity. Second law is F is equal to m into a. Second law states that net force of an object is equal to product of its mass and acceleration, and the symbol for force is m, mass is symbol for force is F, and mass is m and acceleration is small a, so we can say F is equal to ma. So the unit of force is Newton, and mass in kilogram, acceleration is meter per second square, so we can say kilogram meter per second square is also known as Newton. So 1 Newton is equal to the force required to accelerate 1 kilogram of mass at 1 meter per second square. These all the topic what we are discussing here I had discussed in the previous video also, but just to revise, but just to make it concrete in your mind, I am just again revising it in this video. Second law, F is equal to m into a. How much force is needed to accelerate a 1400 kilogram car 2 meter per second square? Use the formula, put the values, and you can find the answer. 2800 Newton is the answer. Now Newton's second law of motion is also known as rate of change of momentum. The rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied force in the direction of motion. How can you find the mathematically the relation? This is also the part of class 9th. I had discussed in the class 9th also so many times. Here you can see the initial momentum of the body is P1 is equal to mu. U is the initial velocity. Final momentum after time t is velocity v. So we can say P2 is equal to mv. Change in momentum P2 minus P1 or mv minus mu. Take the common mv minus u. Now what is the rate of change of momentum? mv minus u upon t, and v minus u upon t is acceleration, because rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. So we can say that rate of change of momentum is proportional to f, and if you use the that constant k, so f is equal to kma, where k is constant of proportionality and the value of k is taken 1, so we can write f is equal to ma. The unit of force is Newton, and the SI unit of mass is kilogram, and acceleration is meter per second square. This is SI unit. What is the CGS unit of force? The CGS unit of force is dyne. It can also be that mass is taken in gram and acceleration is taken in centimeter per second square. So we can say gram centimeter per second square is equal to dyne. The CGS unit of force is dyne and the SI unit of force is Newton. Now Newton's second law proves that different mass accelerate to the earth at the same rate but with a different force. You see that mass of 10 kilogram and mass of 1 kilogram, if you compare, the force of gravity is 98 Newton, and in the second case is 9.8 Newton. We know that object with a different mass accelerate to the ground with the same rate. However, because of the second law, we know that they don't hit the ground with the same force. force for the first body is 98 Newton and force for the second body is 9.8 Newton, and in both the cases you see the acceleration due to gravity is same, but more the mass, more force is there for the same acceleration. Everyone is familiar with this picture. Now third law, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Third law, according to Newton, whenever the object A and B interact with each other, they exert force upon each other. When you sit on your chair, your body exerts downward force on the chair and the chair exerts an upward force on your body. Then we are able to sit properly on the chair. There are two forces resulting from the interaction, a force on the chair and force on your body. These two forces are called action and reaction force. Newton's third law in nature, if you see, consider a propulsion of a fish through the water. A fish uses its fin to push water backward. In turn, water reacts by pushing the fish forward and propelling the fish through the water. This is the way that how the fish swim in the water with the help of their fins. The size of the force on the water equals the size of the force on the fish, and the direction of force on the water is backward, which is opposite to the force on the fish, that is forward. Due to this reason, the fishes are able to swim in the water. The third law we can see in the case of flying birds. The flying gracefully through the air bird depend on Newton's third law of motion. As the bird pushes down on the air with their wings, the air pushes their wings up and give them lift. Consider flying motion of a bird. A bird flies by use of its wing. The wings of a bird pushes air downward. In turn, the air reacts by pushing the bird upward. And the size of force on the air equals the size of the force on the bird, and the direction of force on the air, which is downward, opposite to the direction of the force on the bird, which is upward. It means the same force which bird wings apply on the air, the same force air also applying on the bird, but in opposite direction. So action reaction force pair make it possible for the birds to fly. Newton's third law of motion is also, you can see in this experiment. This is also the experiment which is shown in your NCERT also. So to prove that action and reaction are equal and opposite, take two springs A and B which is connected together. Fix a spring balance B on a rigid support. See from the picture, the reading is 100 Newton, and if you put the second spring on the hook of the B and you pull it outward, you will see that the same reading also on the second spring balance. So we can say that force exerted by the spring balance A on B is action, and the force exerted by the spring balance B on A is reaction, and both are equal. So this proves that action and reaction are equal and opposite forces. If you see the action of and reaction in the case of gun, when the bullet is fired from the gun, it exerts forward force, which is called action, which is on the bullet, and the bullet exerts an equal and opposite force on the gun, which is reaction, and the gun's recoil means gun move backward, and that is the reason that while firing the bullet from the gun, the person uses his shoulder to on the butt of the gun, that when the gun recoil it not move backward. When a sailor jump out of the boat, he exerts a backward force on the boat, which is action, and the boat exerts an equal and opposite force on the sailor, that is reaction, and the sailor jumps forward. This is the reason how can we leave the boat. When an air-filled balloon is released, the force of air coming out of the balloon is action, exerts an equal opposite force on the balloon, reaction, and the balloon move upward. When a rocket is fired, the force on the burning gases coming out is called action, and it exerts equal opposite force on the rocket, and it's a reaction, and that's why it moves upward. So this is also in the case of rocket propulsion, that how the rocket leave the earth. Other example of Newton's third law, the baseball forces the bat to left, an action, and the bat forces the ball to right is the reaction. Third law we can see in the case of motion of car on the way to school. A car is equipped with a wheel which spins backward. As the wheel spins backward, they grip the road and push the road backward. That's why the car moves continuously on the road. third law is there. The reaction of rocket is an application of third law of motion. Various fuels are burned in the engine producing hot gases, and the hot gases push against the inside tube of the rocket and escape out of the bottom of the tube. As the gases move downward, the rocket moves in the opposite direction upward. This is the reason that how the rocket moves. Now what is conservation of momentum? The law of conservation of momentum states that the sum of the momenta of the two objects before collision is equal to sum of momenta after collision, provided there is no unbalanced force acting on them. Means the total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. If you see in this diagram, there are two bodies A and B with mass ma and mb with the initial velocity ua and ub moving in the same direction. And if you see in the second picture, they collide with each other, A and B. The collision is there, the force of A applied on B and the force of B is applied on A. And if you see after collision what happened, the bodies are separated, and if you see the masses remain same but velocity changes. So if the two balls A and B of mass ma and mb are traveling in the straight line with the initial velocity ua and ub, and if ua is more than ub, the two balls will collide with each other, and during collision at time t, ball A exerts a force FAB on ball B. AB is a symbol, means the force by the ball A on the ball B is symbol as FAB, and the ball B exerts a force on ball A, that is FBA. If VA and VB are the velocities of the ball A and B after collision, so momenta of the ball A before and after collision will be MAUA and MAVA, and the momenta of the ball B before and after collision are MBUB and MBVB. So change in momentum, MAVA minus MAUA, and rate of change of momentum, you can solve this same as we had learned this the Newton's second law, and after this you will solve and you find that the momentum initial, that is MAUA plus MBUB is equal to MAVA plus MBVB. That is momentum of the two ball before collision is equal to the momentum of the two ball after collision. So derive this relation by yourself, and if you have any problem then I will solve again for you all, but I think that is very easy. We had discussed this thing in the class 9th also. So one by one you have to, step by step you have to solve this relation and find the principle of conservation of momentum, that initial momentum and final momentum are equal. In this video we are going to end till here. So many topics, so many things we had discussed again in this video, which is in the previous video also, and the new thing which is the rate of change of momentum is equal to force, and the conservation of momentum also we had discussed in this video. So revise this from your NCERT, from your reference book, solve questions on these topics, and if you have any problem then call me or message on the group. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.